Sultan Tower में it's only Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
बाकी हर घर में खाली मिर्ची FM बजे. Mirchi FM it's hot.
Best sound, best music, Mirchi FM rocks and records.
नानी का #1 स्टेशन है Mirchi FM.
Mirchi FM is hot. Mirchi FM it's #1 in nursery.
Mirchi FM is hot. हम लोग Mirchi FM रोज सुनता है. Mirchi FM जागो मामा.
Mirchi FM it's hot.
Tonight on FBC News, Fiji Link finally set to fly. Revenue collection setting new records. And 2 guilty of human trafficking. Good evening and welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Fiji today welcomed its very first ATR 72-600 aircraft from France. The plane is an addition to the Pacific Sun Fleet, which will be officially launched as Fiji Link at the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva tonight. Eleanor Turangaivu reports.
After 6 stopovers since leaving France, the ATR 72-600 aircraft landed at Nausori Airport at 10 this morning, much to the delight of many. The aircraft and its 3 pilots were received by the acting Prime Minister Ayaz Sayed Qayyum. The inclusion of the ATR 72-600 aircraft will now add more flights to the region and free up the 737 aircraft to take up more flights to Australia and New Zealand.
The brand new ATR 72 that's coming today will in fact ensure that we have more frequency to the other Pacific Island countries. It will ensure that Fiji Airways and Fiji Link becomes the dominant company in the Pacific Islands.
An international flight on this aircraft will offer 4 seats for business class and 64 seats for economy class. It starts its commercial flight next week, flying from Suva to Nadi and from Nadi to Villa and Nadi to Apia and back. There are projections tourist numbers will rise with increased flights.
The spin-off benefits for this, for Fiji's tourism industry. More services on our popular tourist routes means more seats and ultimately it means more tourists. And it all up, it means more for the Fijian economy. More travel means higher GDP growth, means more jobs.
The new aircraft is being leased from ADC Company in Singapore, and according to pilot Captain Bruce Williams, it's a good investment.
I always feel that the airways are the arteries between the islands of Fiji and the neighbouring countries. And to be able to improve the air services here is particularly important to Fiji, I believe. And it's wonderful to be able to have an airplane like this to add to those services. And I think the people of Fiji and the neighbouring islands are going to be blessed because of it.
This will not be the only ATR 72-600 for Fiji Link. A second bid is expected in November. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
A 29-year-old woman is still fighting to survive at the Lautoka hospital after she was brutally attacked and slashed allegedly by her estranged husband. A man attacked the victim with a cane knife outside her home in Nandovi, Nadi, before relatives heard her screams and ran to help. Police spokesperson Atunaisa Sokomori says the suspect fled the scene but later surrendered to Nadi police. The woman was alone at home at around 8:30 a.m. Thursday when it is alleged her husband approached her and a dispute arose between them, resulting in the victim being attacked and slashed with a cane knife. The attacker fled when relatives rushed to the woman's rescue. Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority is seeing the best revenue collection in a decade thanks to government reforms and tax measures to help ordinary Fijians. Finance Secretary Philemoni Wangambada says tax cuts and other incentives are having a ripple effect on the economy. Edwin Nunn reports.
At the end of May, revenue collection surpassed the government forecast by $58.3 million, well on its way to the $2 billion target.
You have high disposable income, you spend, businesses able to sell, and there is increased enthusiasm in the economy when all the businesses are performing well. Investment by those businesses will increase, and then revenue tax and customs, Fiji Customs and Revenue Authority will begin to collect more.
Philimoni Wangambada says they expected a drop in income after the substantial decrease in income tax thresholds, but that's actually led to better economic performance and improved compliance.
It shows the resilience in the economy, which has included the modernization of some of our tax policies. If you recall, in 2012 we started changing some of our tax structures, and we continued to maintain that momentum of reform.
VAT collection, 40% of total revenue, is at an all-time high thanks to increased consumer spending and more government expenditure. Overdue taxes have also dropped from just over $100 million in 2013 to $55 million.
Instead of coming at the last day of the month, they are actually coming well before. The first week, second week, people are already coming to pay in lodge. Not like before, on the very last day, we are obviously really chock-a-block with people coming.
A tax court set up last year has also helped finalize a lot of outstanding tax caught up in legal matters. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
2 men were found guilty of domestic human trafficking in the Suva High Court this morning. Judge Justice Paul Madigan agreed with the decision of the assessors and convicted Inoke Rekandroka and Mohammed Shifa Sangaitu. Rekandroka is guilty of 5 counts of domestic trafficking of children and 2 counts of slavery. Sangaitu was convicted of 2 counts of domestic trafficking. In 2012, they trafficked 2 girls aged 15 and 17 years and a 20-year-old woman between Suva and Nandi. Rekandroka and Sangaitu will be sentenced on Monday. A second police officer appeared in Nandi Magistrates Court today for allegedly stealing money from the Fiji police force. Anaseni Ranandi Takape is charged with 1 count of theft. It is alleged she stole more than $1,000 while based at the Nandi Border Police Station sometime last week. She is also being investigated for her alleged involvement in another matter and was released on $2,000 bail this afternoon. On Wednesday, another police officer, Emma Rounds, was charged with 3 counts of theft for allegedly stealing $14,000 from the evidence lockup area. Coming up, LTA centralizes driving tests to Valelevu office.
Bulan 2 Saiba Tolu FM, Enaban 2 Raki-Raki.
Bula FM Namban 2 in Nosor.
Go etabo ke bota kola sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM Namban 2 Korbu.
Bula FM Namban 2 Sawa. Bula FM Namban 2 Lotoka. Bula.
Namban 2 Bula FM member.
Bula FM Namban 2 NSR in Singapore.
Lo tali tak da warong ng Bula FM Lotoka.
Ali akar warong Bula FM Namban 2 NSR.
Bula FM Namban 2 NSR.
Today FM is awesome in Ba. We love you, Today FM.
Today FM rocks in the story, and I love listening to Today FM.
Today FM is #1 in Televu. Today FM rocks in Lotaka. Woohoo!
Today FM is the most popular station in Nasina.
We love everything about Today FM here at Golden Point Reki-Reki.
Everybody in Singapore loves Today FM.
Today FM rocks in Ba.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back here with FBC News. Fiji is seeking support from regional and international agencies to beef up its resilience to natural disasters. Government representatives attending a regional disaster meeting in Lami initiated the move to reach out to world bodies based in Fiji. Mika Longo reports.
With the support of the 6th session of the Pacific Platform for Disaster Risk Management was attended by all 4 divisional commissioners and senior government officials.
We value the meeting and compared to Fiji being vulnerable to disasters.
Fiji has been able to identify gaps in this meeting and is working to strengthen the communication line between its international and regional partners.
About 22 NGOs that are working with us here in Fiji. Unfortunately, at the moment, we haven't had put in the capacity or the structure for all these NGOs to come in.
Colonel Joeli Dawaki says by August there should be a national platform for disaster risk management with all NGOs to fill up the gaps in our policies.
We need to put together a national platform and draw on the conventions, the policies that have been put in through the regional, the global and the regional, and make it happen at the local level.
The meeting has come up with a draft strategy to guide the region on priority actions that can be taken to build the resilience of our nations and communities to disasters and impacts of climate change.
We're quite sure about how we want to do things in the Pacific. There's a special flavor to the way that we want to do things in the Pacific. There are special circumstances that small island states have. And so the considerations that we have in relation to how we live in atolls, etc., influence how this strategy is unfolding.
People know that we are surrounded by large oceans, and we sometimes call ourselves large oceanic states. We can actually use that as a bargaining power.
Once formalized, the draft strategy will be presented in the 2015 World Climate Change Conference in Japan. Mikalonga, FBC News.
The Land Transport Authority is now assessing its services to the public by centralizing the driving license department to its head office in Valelevu, Suva. Chief Executive Naisatuina Deva says this means that their office in Lami, Sport City at Laudala Bay and Nosori branches will no longer issue driving licenses. He says they need to assess their service delivery. However, this measure is not permanent.
We need to monitor more. We are doing our own survey and assessment, so we are trying to put all these activities together under one roof because we just want to really check on our effectiveness and being efficient on our service on this area.
Tuinadeva adds they will continuously work to ensure that they lift their standard of service delivery to the public. Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Sayed Qayyum has questioned the integrity of Felix Anthony, the leader of the People's Democratic Party, for his statements about unemployment in Fiji and allegations against the Fiji First Party. Anthony claims the Fiji First used civil servants and Fiji Sugar Corporation employees to get signatures. Christopher Chand reports.
Ayaz Sayed Qayyum says he won't respond to wild allegations from the People's Democratic Party.
There's no point in responding to such an allegation. Anybody can come and make any allegation and say X, Y, Z happened, but they're not giving any further information. So there's no point responding to that.
The collection of signatures by the Fiji First Party involved civil servants, senior civil servants, involved government statutory bodies, involved workers in the Sugar Institute of Fiji.
Anthony says they will not expose the names of the people involved since they could lose their jobs. On Monday, he challenged the Minister for Labour on unemployment issues.
This is very rich, coming from a man who has been internationally going out to tell people not to trade with Fiji, to tell people not to travel to Fiji. He is at the moment sending out information to take away the certification that has been given to Fiji pine and tropic wood.
The ILO has called upon the Fijian government to act on these decrees, remove them, and to ensure that they respect workers' rights in this country. This government has failed to do that. It has even failed to accept the contact mission from ILO to come to Fiji.
The acting Prime Minister says this is the level of hypocrisy coming from politicians.
We don't go running off and making such allegations. There are many things we can say. Why are certain positions, for example, in trade unions from which some of these people have resigned from, the people who have taken over these positions are now acting? Is it because they want to go back just in case they lose? Why are they still holding on to the official posts regarding the credit unions in those organizations?
Sayed Qayyum says the Fiji First is already doing work on the ground and will be advertising applications for candidates this week. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
A group of young farmers in Nandi will soon reap the rewards of their hard work on their organic papaya farm. The farmers, members of the Sambeto Organic Papaya Producers Association, are expected to harvest their first organic papayas in October. Akasita Tale reports.
This is the 8-acre land in Sambeto where 500 papaya plants are being looked after by 20 young farmers. The producers have come from villages around the country. Into its 12th month of operation, the association says it's been quite a challenge.
It's been researched and it's been thoroughly analyzed, and we know that this product can get to New Zealand in top quality condition, and that's why we are heading towards upscaling organic papaya production.
Torra says they have a huge advantage in the New Zealand market as most papayas are from the Philippines and are yellow-fleshed papayas.
We have the red solo sunrise papaya, and we know there's a big demand for it. We've talked to the consumers, we've talked to the people who run the shops, the operations, and they're really desperate for this particular fruit, the red solo sunrise.
Eleanor Andisau left school at Form 6 and stayed in the village for 4 years before joining the association last year. The 22-year-old is the assistant manager, and she hopes to inspire young women to become farmers.
I'd like to encourage all women from all 14 provinces who aspire to become farmers. Don't give up in planting and face all difficulties, because there is always a reward at the end of all your sacrifices.
Kasayambui Rua, one of the pioneer farmers, wants to share her experience with her community in Nakoro Tumbura.
Most of us came here hoping to give back to our elders in the village, like money raised can be donated to build our church and bring up our siblings and help in education and other developments.
Torra says they are following a participatory guarantee system that is recognized both in the Australian and the New Zealand markets, and is also looking to tap into the US market in the future. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
Let's get an update on sports with Jamie.
Thanks, Amrita. Coming up after the break, Flying Fijians ready to avenge loss to Italy, while Junior Flying Fijians record its second defeat at the Junior World Championships. This and more coming up.
It's always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Lusaka.
Gold FM is Nandi's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singapore.
Old is gold, and Gold FM is #1 here in Lusaka.
Singapore loves classic hits on Gold FM.
Listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Ba.
We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki Raki.
Lautoka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bato Bahe, Bame Radio Fiji 2 के कौन सा के रोके ऑनलाइन क्लियर
रेडियो फिजी 2 रकी रकी के लोग ज्यादा सुनते हैं।
नैनी में हम सबकी पसंद रेडियो फिजी 2।
तालेबू के लोग रेडियो फिजी 2 सबसे ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं।
मेरी पसंद रेडियो फिजी 2, मसूरी में सभी को पसंद रेडियो फिजी 2।
टावा में रेडियो फिजी 2 सभी कोई सुनते हैं।
रेडियो फिजी 2 रॉक।
रेडियो फिजी 2 आई लव यू।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फिजी 2।
Welcome back. First up in sports tonight, the baby Flying Fijians recorded their second loss in the Junior World Championship match at Ecolite Stadium in Pukekohe, New Zealand. Fiji earlier lost to Wales 1948, and today France upset our boys 37-5. Repeated infringements eventuated in France scoring their first try in the 15th minute, a try that even tested the video referee's final call.
It's a try for Dorbagna. We'll get a better showing with our slow motion knees. Keep your eye on that knee of his.
Ooh, wow, we had simultaneous. I've heard simultaneous previously, so this is going to be touch and go.
It's the knee, it's in.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I reckon it's...
France dominated scrum play to claim a penalty try, then bulldozed their way over Fiji to grab a second.
Good, powerful play from France. This is good football. A little bit of offload now, some power running in the middle from their big men. Now they go wide, a little tip on, Lepusnasi.
Sure, mate.
Down to 14 men, Fiji pulled one back with a try 2 minutes before full time.
Forward, Fiji, looking for something positive, yes! They deserve a try. It's been a long, tough day. There's a committee meeting in the end goal between assistant referee and referee. The try is awarded, and something at the end of a hard, long day at the office.
Fiji's final pool game is against Ireland on Tuesday. The Vodafone Flying Fijians believe they will not repeat the ill-disciplined performance that riddled last year's match against Italy. Skipper Kapusingera believes the players have matured since then and will prove this in their game against the Azzurri tomorrow. Tsale Ndadakadaka reports.
The Flying Fijians side wrapped up training ahead of its first international test match of the year against Italy. The skipper wants to assure fans that the side has matured from the last time the two sides met, with Fiji copping a record 5 yellow cards.
I think I was part of one of those yellow cards, but I think we've been working hard this week and last week on our discipline, and like I said again, we're out for the battle this Saturday.
The hosts are anticipating a grudge match among the forwards, with Italy aiming to keep the ball away from the star Fijian backline.
I think, yeah, I mean, we know the way the Italians are played. I don't think they're going to suddenly come up with a different game plan, and they base a lot of their game around their forward play. So we need to match that, and you know, we have been working hard on that areas. And as you mentioned, the context area around the ruck, that's, you know, at the top levels of the game, it's a very, very hotly contested area. We have to be very accurate in those areas.
The team will have a lot to prove to themselves and the fans that it can build on its past mistakes to achieve success. FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, members of the Vodafone Flying Fijians and Italian rugby sides took time off the field to socialize ahead of the big clash tomorrow. Both the teams were hosted by the European Union's Pacific delegation in Suva. The event was designed to promote Fiji, its creative industries and cuisine in Italy and other parts of Europe.
The European Union delegation designed today's event to promote Fiji, to promote its creative industries, its cuisine in Italy and in Europe. While Italy has been famous for centuries for sports, foods, fashion, design, tourism, arts, etc., Fiji is just now emerging as a Pacific country.
Fiji and Italy will clash at 3 p.m. tomorrow at ANZ Stadium in Suva. Team Fiji athletes for the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Glasgow have a good number of medal prospects. It's Fiji's biggest team to the Games, thanks to some assistance from the Olympic Solidarity Fund. They're also financing the team heading to China in August, and that'll be the biggest ever to attend the Youth Olympic Games. Elaine McDonald reports.
Representing Fiji to the Glasgow Games next month are 10 lawn bowls reps, 4 athletes and weightlifters, 6 swimmers, with judoka Chosateki Naulu and shooter Glenn Cable.
We had a qualification procedure was that athletes be placed 4th or better in Oceania, and that has been strictly adhered to for the selection of this team.
Athletes who missed out on selections are welcome to appeal.
So if there is an appeal, we have an independent appeals tribunal who will meet the athletes on Monday afternoon to make a decision, and their decision will be final.
Meanwhile, a US $100,000 grant from the Olympic Solidarity Fund has played a vital role in developing athletes to qualify for the Youth Olympic Games in China.
We do have a pretty good chance of medals. Obviously rugby, hockey will be up there, definitely weightlifting. You know, I'm sure the swimmers are going to give it a go, so yeah, we're looking forward to some pretty good results.
Rugby and hockey have until the end of June to finalize their team numbers for the Games. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Finally in sports tonight, Fijians will be able to watch all the action of the FIFA World Cup live right here on FBCTV from next week. A total of 56 matches will be broadcast live, while 8 will be shown delayed.
We will be able to take soccer for the first time to the maximum number of Fijians in Fiji through our platform. So, you know, this is extremely good news for soccer fans and also for people who are not soccer fans, because remember, this is the pinnacle of soccer in the world. It happens once every 4 years.
Coverage of the World Cup on FBCTV will start at 8 a.m. next Friday. That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Amrita now for business.
The Nature's Way Cooperative of Nandi has been invited to share its success story at the Pacific Wave Export Conference in New Zealand later this month. The thriving agribusiness that helps small-scale farmers share their sustainably grown fresh tropical produce has been identified as a Pacific Economic Ambassador. Hosted by the Pacific Corporation Foundation, or PCF, the event will bring together the private sector, business council and government representatives from New Zealand and the Pacific. Time for weather with Trish.
The same conditions today with fine weather in the morning and the afternoon, but there were a few scattered showers around late in the day. Nadi Lotokamba and Lambasa had fine weather all day. Looking at temperatures, Savu Savu was the only one on 28. Suva and Lambasa were on 29, whereas Nadi Lotok and Ba hit 30. Tonight will be a bit chilly. The lowest will be Mba, Lambasa, Lotoka, Nandi, Rakiraki, Singatoka, and Tabua dropping to 18, and that's cool. Tomorrow's forecast, Suva and Savu Savu will have fine weather in the morning and also in the afternoon, but with a possibility of scattered showers. Nadi, Lotoka, Mba, and Lambasa will have fine weather all day. For mariners, that strong wind warning, which had been in force for the past couple of days, has been cancelled. Expect east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots and generally moderate seas. We have Tony doing a sailor to thank for this picture. Let's just call it morning at Nosori Airport.
Thanks, Trish. Now in the top stories. Fiji Link received its new ATR aircraft this morning, paving the way for better domestic and regional services. Revenue collection setting new records. And 2 men have been found guilty of human trafficking. On to this week's poll question. Do you feel safe travelling in public service vehicles? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. Or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply #FBC News. That's all from us tonight. Join me again tomorrow evening. Until then, good night.
Talita na Radio Fiji One na mwira ni nonda bonua.
Ando talita kana borro na Radio Fiji One singa toka boleta ni station ni Alomatu.
Ando talita ka bale una borro na Radio Fiji One station ni Alomatu ilo toka.
Ando talita ka bale una borro na Radio Fiji One na mandi na station ni Alomatu.
Au tungo korbo ando borro mo live na station ni Alomatu na Radio Fiji One.
Ando borro na Radio Fiji One na station ni Alomatu na bandoi tele.
Na Radio Fiji One nando mo ibiti na bonga ni BNN.